Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli back out here in the shop with another great instructional video for you today. And in today's shop, we're going to talk about how to pick the right length drop shot leader or down leader. Without a doubt, the drop shot system, drop shotting as a technique, is one of the hottest finesse techniques to catch fish. I don't care if you're in shallow, dirty, stained water or crystal clear, deep water. This thing has the ability to catch fish like no other. The main thing with that drop shot, when you look at it, is it presents the bait off the bottom and it keeps it horizontal off the bottom, right? Think about that as a technique. Like, what other presentation can we keep the bait horizontally off the bottom? And it's very natural to present a bait like that, right? It looks like a minnow or a bait fish or anything. It looks like it's sitting there, paused or studying or moving, right? So it's a great presentation. But that length of leader between the bait and the weight is a critical component to being successful. So today we're going to talk about how to pick that length, when to use a really short leader and when to use a long leader and when to use something in between, right? We're going to go through all the scenarios on how to pick the length of that down leader or drop leader, right? The length of line below the bait. All right, what I'm going to do, the best way to do it is I'm going to break it into conditions and what conditions we want a short leader and then what conditions we want a long leader. Like, look at the length of that one, right? That one's probably 20 inches, 22 inches. We're going to break it down by conditions, and I'm going to tell you short or long. Let's use as a mean length, let's use 12 inches as our mean length, as an average length for a drop shot, right? Short being shorter than 12 inches, 2 to 6, 8 inches, right? Or long being above 12 inches, 14, 18, 20, 24 inches long, right? So long versus short, when do we want to pick each one? First one, let's talk about water clarity. Let's talk about water clarity. And we could break water clarity down into 3 categories to make it real generic and simple. We've got water that we're going to fish that's really dirty, super stained, muddy water, right? You get there, you look down, dude, the water is like brown. It's chocolatey colored. You can't see a couple inches down. You can't see your lure. It disappears, right? So dirty water, stained water. Stained water, we're going to say it's not ultra dirty, but it's not ultra clean, right? Stained water has a little color to it. It's not crystal clear. Sometimes it's tannic water. Stained has a tannic color to it. So now instead of just a couple inches, maybe we can see the bait a foot down or a little more. And then the last one is ultra clear, where, dude, that water is crystal clear. It looks like drinking water. You could drop a penny on the bottom and you could see it. You could read the date in 10 feet, 15, 20 foot. You could see the penny. Crystal clear water, okay? So in general, here's our rule. In that dirty, muddy, stained water, heavily stained water, we want a short leader, okay? We want a leader length that's short because we want that bait close to the weight. That weight's going to be on the bottom, making noise, making a little sound, kicking the silt up. That's going to attract the fish. We want that bait to be closer to the weight in that dirty, muddy, ugly water. So ugly, stained water, a shorter leader, right? Again, a shorter leader, shorter than 12 inches, but I would specifically say 4 to 6 inches, 8 inches at the max, sometimes even just 2 inches, just a little tiny leader, right? 2 to 6 inches, 4-inch leader, that's about a 5-inch leader. Dirty, ugly, muddy water, short leader. But let's go to the opposite one. Let's jump ahead. Ultra clear water. You look down, dude, you can see the bottom in 10 feet, 12 feet, no problem. Some places you look down, you can see the bottom in 20 feet. It looks like an aquarium. The water's so clear. In those crystal clear situations, I want an extremely long leader. I want an extremely long leader to get that bait away from the weight, right? Now the fish can see it a mile. And I want to present that drop shot lure, whatever it is, little finesse worm, a max scent worm, a water bug, whatever it is. I want to present it naturally off the bottom, away from that weight and that commotion, right? So I want it higher up. So ultra clear water, long leader, bigger than 12 inches, but let's say 14, 16, 18. This one is long. This one's an 18 or 20 inch leader. Cleaner the water, crystal clear, long leader. Then the last one is stained, right? And in stained water, water that's not clear or dirty, go with your typical normal drop shot leader length. In stained water, that 12-inch leader is money. 10 or 12 inch, right? Not too far away, not too close. Stained water's in the middle. We want that leader in the middle. So 10 inches, 12 inches, especially that 12-inch leader. Love it in stained water, okay? So the first determiner we're going to use is water clarity, right? Water clarity. All right, number 2, let's jump to the second category, which is cover. And remember now, cover is the physical objects that are on the bottom, right? Sometimes you're out there and you're fishing around rocks, boulders. Sometimes you're out there and you're fishing around grass that grows off the bottom. Sometimes you're out there and you're fishing around wood, limbs, and brush piles. And I always want to match the leader length to the type of cover. So on this one, it's a variable floating scale dependent on that cover. So give you an example. For cover that's real short and small and low to the bottom, I like a shorter leader length. Example of cover that's real short and low to the bottom would be gravel, really small rock, like pebble-sized rock, new growth grass, sand grass, shrimp grass that only grows about that far off the bottom. In those situations, I want a shorter leader because I want the bait just above the cover. Now we're going to go to bigger style cover. Let's talk about boulders. You're out fishing a boulder field. And these boulders come 2-3 feet off the bottom. You're fishing milfoil or hydrilla. That's 2 or 3 foot off the bottom. Brush piles, cane piles, super high, big, bulky brush piles that were sunk off a long point. The bigger, the taller the cover, the more I want that long leader, right? Because I want to keep it above the cover, keep it from getting lost. So I really like that extra long leader length with big cover objects, boulders, brush piles, bulky brush piles, high growth grass. That's what I'm going to go to that longer leader, right? 18, 20 to 24 inches to keep that bait above the cover to where the fish can see it. Last one is that middle length leader that we talked about, our standard length, 12 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, 14, right in that range. We're going to use that for cover that's moderately high off the bottom. And that's a lot of cover that we fish. That's if we're fishing stumps and the stump is just cut at the bottom, isolated sticks, rock that's not little like pea gravel, but it's not giant boulders, just softball, football size rock. It's very normal, right? So for that normal, more moderate cover that we're fishing, and we fish that a lot, standard drop shot length, right? 12 inches. A little longer, maybe 14, maybe 10, but 12-inch leader, normal cover targets, right? So for our second scenario, man, think about it. We are thinking about cover and a variable scale of keeping the leader long for big cover, short for low cover, and normal for moderate cover, okay? All right, last one is water temperature. Water temperature. And this is a big one, guys, if you're watching this. One of the great things about this drop shot is that the drop shot excels in all different water temperatures. I've caught them on a drop shot, honestly, when the water temperature was 37, 38 degrees. Freezing cold, wintertime conditions. And on the opposite side of the scale, I've caught them on a drop shot when the water was boiling. 90 to 100 degree water temperature, like hot in the south. Caught them on a drop shot. But here's my general rule of how to pick that leader length based on water temperature. And it goes like this. The colder the water, the shorter the leader. The warmer the water, the longer the leader. And that moderate water temperature, we deal with that a lot in the spring and fall. Moderate, normal leader length. All right, let's break it down for you one last time. In the winter, in that pre-spawn, late fall, when that water's cold, let's call it low 50s or colder. 51, 52, or cooler. That's cold water. I like that shorter length drop shot leader, right? I really, really like that, we call it 6, 8 inches drop shot leader length. Love that. That's about a 7 or 8 inch leader right there. The colder the water, the more lethargic and bottom related those fish are. So I want that bait closer to the bottom. Okay, so colder water, shorter leader. Let's go to the other extreme. Super hot water, water that's boiling. The hottest water of the year happens in June to August all over the country. Those fish are juiced up. And in that hot water, fish are metabolism's pumped up and they're swimming more and they're suspended more. And because of that, when the water's super hot, I tend to go to a longer leader. And I really, really like that 16, 18, 20 inch leader, maybe about like right there. Love that length. The hotter that water, the more I want that bait off the bottom, the more I want it darting and dancing in place off the bottom, higher, longer leader, warmer water. And then let's end it with the last one, which is that moderate water. And by the way, the warm water, if I want to give you a temperature, let's call it mid 70s, low 70s or higher. Let's call it 72 to 74 degrees or warmer is when I want that real long leader. All right, let's go to that last one. Moderate water temperatures. And moderate water temperatures we're going to see a lot throughout the year. We're going to see it in the spring, early summer. We're going to see it again in the fall. And moderate water temperature, just go right in the middle of those two, talking about that low to mid 50s, right? Now we're above 52, 53, 55 degrees, all the way to that low 70s, right? 55 to 72, 73. That's a moderate temperature. 60 degree water, you see a lot of that all year. 65, 70 degree water, we see a lot of that. In those conditions, moderate leader length and that normal. We'll get back to that magic 12 inches, right? 10, 12, 14 inches, moderate leader length, moderate water temperature. it's a perfect match. Before I go, I do want to give you one last scenario for the short leader drop shot. And it's something that I've learned bed fishing the last few years is when you're specifically bed fishing, if you're sight fishing or if you're fan casting around and you think the fish are spawning, the short leader drop shot really excels. So remember, we're talking about, 2 to 8 inches, but really a 4-6 inch leader length, shorter leader when the fish are on beds. I'll rig this one up for you real quick just to show you because it's become such a great bed bait for me recently is the Berkley power bait gilly on a short leader drop shot, either nose hooked or threaded, depending on the cover. Dude, that thing with a short leader drop shot around the beds smokes them. It's down there banging around. It's making silt in their bed. It kind of sits horizontally. It drifts down. You shake it. It comes back up. Looks like a little bluegill pecking at the eggs. Dude, they can't stand it. So for bed fishing, short leader. I hope you enjoyed this in the shop, man. This was a good one. We're talking about one of the best baits ever created for finesse fishing, a drop shot. And we're talking about how to pick the right leader length, short, moderate, or long. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like what you're hearing, do me a favor right now and stop. Hit that subscribe button. Become a subscriber to my channel. If you're already subscribed, tell your fishing friends about Mike Iaconelli Fishing on YouTube. We're here to hopefully help teach you something and help you become a better angler. So leader length, drop shotting is pretty key. Bye.